For my stem, I'm going to be doing a chain stitch with 3 strands. I come up through the fabric with my needle and then down right next to where I first came up and create a loop, and then come up within the center of that loop, pull it tight, and then I'm going to insert my needle down in that loop again to create a new loop. And then I'm going to come up in the center of that loop, and this will just keep repeating, and it makes a series of little chains that attach to each other. It's very similar to how we do the lazy daisy stitch, but these are all little chains that connect. We'll continue that all the way up to the top of this row. And when you get to the end and do your last loop, you're going to secure it now on the outside by inserting your needle on the outside of the loop. For the little leaves, we're going to do a lazy daisy. So we start coming up, bring your needle back down where we came up, make a loop, and then come up in the center of the loop, secure it by going down on the outside of the loop. The lazy daisy almost seems like one isolated chain. We'll do that for the other leaves here, and then you can go back to doing your chain stitch for the other stems leading up to the flowers. Now 2 of these flowers I'm going to do the woven wheel. I'm using all 6 strands, and I'm going to outline each of the spokes for these wheels. So a straight stitch from the outside to the center, or from the center to the outside on each of these spokes. And then after you complete that, we can do the French knot for this 3rd flower over here. So come up in the center, hold it with your opposite hand, go around your thread twice with the needle, and then insert it back where you came up. Right next to where you came up is the best. Pull it down through, keeping it tight with your left hand the whole time, and then slowly release it to create a French knot. Now we're going to take a new long strand of thread, and we're using all 6. This will be about a 36-inch piece of thread, and we're going to double it over. So thread your needle, take it to the center, and then tie your ends together. So now we have 12 strands that we're working with on the needle. Come up just beside one of the spokes near the center, and we're going to go over the first spoke, under the next spoke, over, under, the whole way around, alternating each time. You can see that I've turned my needle and I'm sliding the eye of my needle under. That just gives you a little bit more control over sliding it under these spokes without snagging it with a pointy end. As you go, you want to pull your string kind of snug to the center, and make sure as you go around you're going over, under the entire way. Now it will get a little tight when you get towards the end, but just keep sliding your needle under as long as you can see those spokes. Pull it nice and tight, and then when you're done, insert your needle back down into the fabric and tie it off in the back. I like to give it a little pinch here and just pack the stitches in. You can also do that as you go around to make sure that it's nice and full. Now for this flower, I'm also doing the doubled over technique. So I have 12 strands total with the ends tied together. Come up through the fabric and go about 1/3 of the way around the French knot and insert your needle, create a loop, and then you're going to bring your needle up inside that loop and pull it snug. Now we're going to go about 1/3 of the way around the circle again, insert your needle, create that loop, come up inside the loop and pull it snug again. This is the same technique we use for the stem stitch, except in this case we're going around instead of up a straight line. You can do this with just 6 strands, but I like the fullness of using it doubled over into 12. It will create more texture this way and go a little bit faster as well. So each time we make a stitch, we're going about 1/3 of the way around, coming up inside our loop. And as you can see, it's making these nice fluffy petals that overlap. It's a great alternative to the woven wheel. While the woven wheel is really fun and very pretty, I think that this one seems a little bit more secure since we're going down through the fabric each time, where the woven wheel goes on just the top of the fabric and can get easily snagged if you're doing this stitch on clothing or something like that. They both make a beautiful rosette, but I just wanted to show you the contrast of these two. And the same for this. When you feel like your flower is big enough, you insert your needle back down through the fabric and tie it off. You can take your eye of the needle and go around and just lightly tug at different places around your flower just to fluff it up a bit and give it a little pinch, and that will just help to create depth within the threads. Let me know which one you prefer.